Welcome back to Run It Back with Max and RJ. It is a very exciting day. So you know what?
Yeah.
I like this podcast because it's an opportunity for me to be social.
Right.
I view this as a social interaction because I don't go out a lot.
Yeah.
So
wow, what's up with that, man?
I'm just
a peek inside your
peek
your
inside
life.
my life. I watch a lot of news, I watch a lot of sports, and I come to work at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
So that's my social life.
Put a cramp into your social life for sure.
Yeah. So today has been a long day.
Right.
I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm going to try to be lively. I'm going to try to be exciting. I haven't had coffee, but I will say the highlights of my day have included all food.
Okay. Yeah.
Didn't eat until the 9 o'clock. And then after that, we got breakfast tacos. Also, I've been trying to say this all day long. Happy not official start to Fiesta.
Yeah, weird setup this year with Fiesta. They had to kind of break it up because from my understanding, it's because of Easter.
Yeah, Easter broke it up.
So Oyster Bake was starting off this weekend, big event there, and then they're going to kind of take a little break in between and then get it back going. But yeah, like you said, it was good to come. Oh, nice. Jamie.
Nice.
Shout out Jamie pops in.
Shout out Jamie.
Director Jamie, yeah. So no, it was nice to come into work today and just have like bags of tacos and then, like you said, HEBs out grilling stuff in our backyard.
They have had so far this morning barbacoa tacos.
Yeah.
Cheese, egg, and potato tacos. And then HEB coming in hot. They had some
really hot. You could
waffles.
smell the bacon or whatever they're making.
Literally bacon.
Delicious.
You can smell the bacon.
Yes.
So it has been a great morning.
Yeah.
I'm excited for everything that Fiesta has to offer. You got Oyster Bake. I have not made it to Oyster Bake yet, but it's on the list.
Yeah, Oyster Bake, fun event. It gets really crowded towards the end of the night.
That's
naturally,
not a problem for me because I go to sleep at 6 o'clock.
That's true.
Hence,
that's true.
no
But
social
if you
events.
wanted to go during the day, that would be a nice time to go kind of check things out. Oyster Bake, it's on St. Mary's campus, so it's really kind of one of the signature events of Fiesta. And like you said, I mean, just Fiesta, Spurs playoffs, man, it always kind of comes together, and it's such a great time, man.
I'm still talking about the fun stuff. I was going to throw shade. First off, shout out to Dom. If you notice, if you're watching, first off, if you're listening, thank you so much.
Yeah.
If you're watching,
this is impressive.
We have a nice new setup. Dom has set all of this up.
Yeah.
This new desk, these chairs, they're not light, and he carried them all the way from across the newsroom.
He did.
So good for him. Thank you so much. You made us look a lot prettier.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jamie for making all that possible. Also, shout out to Alicia, who threw a lot of shade at me today.
Wow. Why is
threw
that?
back a couple tacos after the 9 a.m. I was starving.
Yeah.
And she looks at me. She's like, is that what you work out for? And I looked, I was like, yeah, it is what I work out for, so I can have my barbacoa taco without someone judging me.
Yes, and that's a great point. I remember producer Mario, EP producer Mario, once told me a while back, he's like, yes, I work out so I can eat, pretty much,
It's not the other way around,
man? I mean, how do you not? Especially when it's just out there. It's out there for you. I saw you walk in with some sort of like a pie or something like that.
So this is the last thing. I promise we will get to the Spurs playoffs. I love food, and if we have any loyal followers or I guess viewers,
followers, everything.
First off, again, if you're still listening, thank you. I promise we will get to sports. At viewers out there, if you have any recommendations of food in San Antonio, maybe some holes in the wall spots. I am always looking for new spots to try, some outside the box food. So there you go. All right, so let's jump right into it. After 4 minutes of nonsense.
Yeah.
Spurs playoffs.
We don't have our timer here, Andrew.
No.
He has ditched us for today, but
he's with Alicia.
He's
That's
at
probably
a
why
shoot.
I'm a little bitter.
Sure, a shoot. Okay, whatever, Andrew. But yeah, playoffs, man. Wow, here we are.
We made it.
We made it.
We made it in the 7th seed, and that was the biggest fear for a while.
Yeah, yeah. So interesting last couple of games that really kind of determined all this seeding. I don't know if you saw the Oklahoma City-Houston game.
Yeah.
That was a tremendous game. That one was pretty much like a playoff type game. Rockets lose that game, fall all the way to 4. So not only do we kind of avoid the Rockets.
Which is crazy because they were in contention to 2.
Exactly. So it was Houston, Denver, Portland were all kind of in the mix. And then San Antonio, Oklahoma City, and the Clippers were all kind of on the back end of that. But so not only do we get the Rockets out of the way, but we also avoid Golden State again. Thank you for that.
Ideal.
Yes, and
Don't
we get the
with
Denver
them.
Nuggets, man. And the thing is that everyone when the Spurs clinched the playoff berth, everyone's been talking about, well, we want the Nuggets. We want the Nuggets. Well, we have the Nuggets now.
The Nuggets.
We got the Nuggets, man.
I'm just going to throw it out here. These chairs are so uncomfortable. They look really cool, and if you're watching, if you're not watching, they're like these Dr. Evil type chairs that like hunch forward at the top, and I'm like crouched in here like this. Sorry, I got really distracted.
A few years ago, we used to do like a segment where it was like a get to know segment, some like on air personalities and stuff. They used to do them on these chairs, and I want to say that segment specifically just stopped because of these chairs.
Like it's just so awkward. I mean, like, unless I'm like leaning like this or like. Super late. Like I feel like I have to like hunch over. Anyway, so yes, it is very exciting. Nuggets in the first round, and that's set for 9 o'clock tomorrow, Saturday. Yeah. I mean, it's easy to say this is a great matchup for the Spurs. I mean, on one hand, you have the Spurs, the most experienced head coach when it comes to playoffs, and then you have Mike Malone. Yeah. Not the most experienced head coach when it comes to playoffs. You have these, savvy vets, if you will, who have playoff experience. DeMar DeRozan. Making it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. You have LaMarcus Aldridge, who have been in the playoffs a number of times.
Western Conference Finals a couple years ago with the Spurs when they lost to Golden State. Yep.
You don't. I mean, you have Nikola Jokic, who has never been to the playoffs.
Right.
And then after that, Jamal Murray, no real playoff experience. I mean, you have some of the lower tier guys on the bench, but they're not really gonna bring that like spur of the moment. See what I did there?
Oh, nice. Yeah, I did catch that. Obviously, look, Paul Millsap, kind of their most experienced guy, who's still kind of a contributor.
And I hate to say it, but like,
well, it was
he
with
hasn't
the
won
Hawks.
anything.
Yeah, it was with the Hawks when the Hawks had a good team, but like every other team in the Eastern Conference, including DeMar's old team, Toronto, they kind of got steamrolled by LeBron whenever they met up with him in the playoffs. But I think that's obviously one of the biggest factors here, the experience factor. You got guys like Patty Mills, Marco Bellinelli that are experienced guys coming off the bench for the Spurs, and of course, Coach Pop and Mike Malone. That's an interesting matchup right there as well. So. As much as I think that experience is a big factor, I do think that Denver's talent is legit. When you look at guys like Jamal Murray, Monte, I think they're Gary Harris.
You were about to name Monte Morris before you named anyone else. You say Monte
Gary
Morris
Harris
is their third most important player.
He's their best player off the bench.
I think you just wanted to name drop real fast.
Why would I want to name drop? Okay, Isaiah Thomas has not played for them in the past month.
Because that was supposed to be the thing. It was like, oh, him and Michael Porter coming in. Like, who knows?
Yeah, Michael Porter is not even in existence. Yeah. Interesting thing about IT, though, and because we're talking to, earlier today, I was talking to our morning web producer, Ben Spicer. Very knowledgeable about sports. We need to definitely get him on
So he and I actually did, I'm losing my mind. We did first, second team all NBA, but we're going to get there. We got to stop. Stop.
Okay.
One of the biggest criticisms about the pod is that we keep jumping from lane to lane. So let's stay in our lane here. Stay with Spurs Nuggets. Yes. So you were saying with IT.
Yeah, with IT,
Isaiah Thomas,
he has not played very much for them. He was out of the rotation.
Right.
But he's a guy who I can see coming in and just giving them a spark on a game where maybe like a Monte Morris is struggling or something.
I don't know what your obsession with Monte Morris is.
Look, because Monte Morris has been their biggest player off the bench.
Because Monte Morris is the only real point guard on that team.
Well, but Jokic is kind of their point guy, point center, forward or whatever. So in a situation where they're maybe struggling, I could see Isaiah Thomas coming in off the bench. Why wouldn't you see him coming in off the bench?
And
maybe dropping like 12 points?
Okay.
Switching a game? Swinging a game?
Just a spark on the bench is 12 points. I thought you were going to say he's going to come off the bench and drop 30.
No.
Let's just take a second. Like imagine 2 years ago when Isaiah Thomas was in the MVP discussion and you said a spark.
That was never legit, though, in my opinion.
What do you mean it was never legit?
It was never a legit thing.
How is that not legit?
Because he was Boston's only guy at the time. He was in
MVP contention.
Yeah,
he was dropping like 15 points in a fourth quarter every night.
But really, mean, did you ever fear Boston as
Yes.
a legit? What?
Yes.
No way. No
Absolutely.
way. No way. First of all, when LeBron was there, it was LeBron's conference to begin with. There was never going to be
every
anything.
Every year. Once he left Miami, every year it was like, okay, like we don't really know how good this team is because they weren't good around him.
Right.
Think about the team last year. He leaves. It's the same exact team. And they're the worst team in the league.
Who are we talking about?
Cavs.
Oh, we're talking. Okay, I thought we were still talking about Isaiah Thomas.
No, but I'm saying like when LeBron went to the East, like when he went to the Cavs from the Heat, it was like, okay, like we don't really know how good this team is. Because Kevin Love really never fit in there. Right. And Kyrie is kind of just like that Gilbert Arenas, like I'm going to score 25.
Sure. Yeah.
But like I'm not really going to help anyone else out.
Yeah. What does that have to do with Isaiah Thomas?
Just because it was a possibility that Isaiah Thomas and the Celtics could actually beat them.
No, that was never a possibility. Didn't they? Okay, so 2 years ago, don't they play in the Eastern Conference Finals? That's when he busted his hip or something, Isaiah Thomas?
Yeah.
Missed like the entire playoffs or most of the series.
No!
They beat Cleveland in their only win against Cleveland without Isaiah Thomas. So that was the Avery Bradley game.
That was the Avery Bradley game.
How are we talking about Isaiah Thomas?
I don't know. We went through a weird loophole. Anyway, all right, so.
Yeah, let's Spurs.
Where were we even going with this? You just started talking about Monte Morris. All right, so.
Just about matchups and guys on teams.
So here's my thing. I think the Nuggets they're a great regular season team. And I heard this somewhere. I think I did. I might have made it up. I think I've said it enough where like I might have made it up or I heard it. I don't know. So there are 82. There are 82 game teams, and then there are 16 game teams.
Yes.
Well,
the
Nuggets are an 82 game team.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to throw it back to I think it was 2012 when it was who was it? It was George Karl was the head coach. He won Coach of the Year. He got him in first place in the West that year, and that was the weird team that had like Ty Lawson and the Manimal and Gallinari.
Yeah.
But they got bumped in the first round.
Yeah.
And I think this is this team. I think that, yes, they could maybe in a couple of years. I think they're very young. I think it's, death by 1,000 cuts.
Right.
I don't think that they have those elite top tier scorers. And I mean, because in the playoffs, it comes down to your best 7 guys.
Sure. Yeah. The rotations get a lot shorter. And this is where I think we've talked a lot about, on the Spurs side of things here, because we're going to need, DeMar to have the game. DeMar to basically have one of these games where they explode, where either he or LaMarcus just kind of carries them. Hopefully, ideally on the road. Ideally on the road. But see, with LaMarcus, I expect him to give us 20 and 10. But DeMar is the one that I think can really kind of elevate his game to another level. Remember, when DeMar got traded over here, a big thing to him was that, I got this chip on my shoulder now. I got this chip on my shoulder.
I think he ate the chip after week 4.
Well, here's the deal. I think that DeMar has kind of been sort of, I don't want to say easing his way through the regular season, but if anything, if we're going to see,
he's holding it for the playoffs.
I think so.
He's going LeBron mode in the playoffs.
I think so, and I think that DeMar, we've seen throughout the season with the Spurs, he's kind of held back a few times. He's kind of let some of these younger guys like Derek White kind of take over some of these moments when they've needed to. But I think now that it's playoff mode, I think we're going to see DeMar be more aggressive, and we're going to need to see him drop at least 30 to win one of these games on the road.
So here are the 3 things. 1, I know. While you were talking, I was like, there's 3 things wrong with this. 1, I don't think that DeMar, also, if Bernice is listening, I'm not being confrontational, I promise. This is just nice. Bernice is our news director. She does a great job, and I respect everything she says.
Absolutely.
That being said, I think you're wrong.
Okay.
In a very respectful manner, I think you're wrong.
Okay.
I don't think it was DeMar's decision to take a back seat. I think that they now need him to run the offense.
Okay.
I think that he needed to be less of a scorer. And I think that was a little bit of a shot to an ego for him. I think that he came out hot. He was averaging like 25, upper 20s for a while there.
Yeah, he was.
And he's definitely singed off. That could be injury or that could be his assists going up. Again, he's with young guys around him. You got Bryn Forbes. Like you said, you got Derek White. And then you got LaMarcus. We know the offense is not going to run through LaMarcus. He's that ISO guy. He's not going to get you 10 assists. He'll get you 10 rebounds because he's like
Right.
6'10".
Yeah.
But he's one of the best ISO scorers.
Sure. That's why I expect a
Right.
double-double easily from LaMarcus, even though it's going to be a fun matchup with him and Jokic. But all that being said, you're talking about getting other
things.
Oh,
I still
God.
have 2 more things.
Okay.
So,
where's Andrew when you need him,
number
man?
2.
Andrew's like, I can see the ghost of Andrew here.
So
like.
number 2 is okay. So number 2 is LaMarcus against Jokic.
Yeah.
Jokic can't play defense.
Okay.
I mean, he's like, no offense to him. He's great offensive. He's good at assists. He's a great passer. He can hit threes. But I think LaMarcus is going to have 25 games.
He should.
He should.
LaMarcus should. Okay.
And 3, watching the East over the last 5 years since DeMar and Kyle Lowry have been working on the Raptors.
Right.
I mean, you see Kyle kind of like shutter up in these moments, and you do see DeMar step up.
Well, DeMar was benched last year, though, in the series against the Cavs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
But in the games previous to
both
that,
those guys had
to be
their
fair,
moments.
I think it was all a mental thing in that getting past LeBron.
Of course.
But
I mean,
you saw through the playoffs, DeMar carried the team for a lot of it.
Yeah, all that being said, and this is my biggest point, we talk about DeMar distributing this and that, doing that. I don't think the Spurs win this series without DeRozan being in the upper 20s or lower 30s.
I'm looking at my phone not to check tweets or anything like that. I'm checking to see DeMar's playoff numbers.
I just don't think the Spurs are going to win it by relying on guys like Bryn Forbes. I mean, Forbes has had a great year, but I'm not. Look, if Forbes gives you 10 a game in this series, then that's gravy to me. I think this comes down to DeMar DeRozan having some big games here, and LaMarcus Aldridge being consistent, like you said, 25 and 10. I'd be happy with that, and I think Spurs would definitely do well with that situation playing out.
Okay, so
here we go. Research on the fly.
Here we go. Research on the fly.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Playoffs per game. Actually, last year it wasn't that great. So in 20, it's always 20 plus. It's always 20 plus. So in 2013, it was 23.9 points a game.
Nice.
14, 20.3.
Yeah.
15, 20.9.
Yeah.
16, 22.4. Last year, 22.7.
Okay. So,
but he also played his most. Oh no.
Well, this year he averaged, 21, which is a kind of a weird oddity because he was their leading scorer for the entire season, and then Aldridge passed him in game 82. Yeah. That was it. Aldridge just managed to get him by a point per game average, which
is crazy because LaMarcus has had some of his highest scoring games of his career here.
Yes. Oh yeah. No, LaMarcus is like Pop always says, LaMarcus is a workhorse in the middle, man. He's he defends, he rebounds. He's an underappreciated guy because I think he's just not a very well-liked guy amongst, NBA fans. And he's not really like an outgoing guy, when it comes to just LaMarcus's. Well, yeah, that's true, but at least, a guy like DeMar is a little bit more like recognizable and be like,
marketable.
Marketable, okay. Yeah, DeMar.
I was going to say, DeMar
shout out to DeMar, man. He went out to Nipsey Hussle's memorial service.
He's from that area.
From LA, definitely. He was a friend of his. But that's what I'm saying. DeMar is more of like I'm a little bit more out there as far as when it comes to being a little bit more of a community guy. But so again, LaMarcus, I think, is just going to get what he gets, and that better be a double-double, or else the Spurs are going to be in some trouble. But DeMar, I think, is the one that's going to have to lift them.
What is your play or your matchup to watch?
Well, we said all that. I had DeMar versus the chip on his shoulder because we need that.
I like that.
We talked about LaMarcus.
The metaphorical matchup.
Nice, yeah.
I like it.
We talked about, by the way, I wrote this down like 2 minutes before we went on air. So
that's good. No, we do actually do research here, I promise.
Hey, gotta work hard.
Also,
at this.
shout out to Phil Lane. He just peeked in here. General Manager Phil. We're giving shout outs to everyone who signs my paycheck. So thank you, Phil.
There you go. That's not a bad deal. We talked Pop Malone. Spurs bench, Denver bench.
He walks by here, I'm inviting him in.
Yeah,
right now.
So the one key matchup that I think is going to swing this series
also
now?
You keep looking over
is I'm seeing just people walk by there all the time. Derek White versus Jamal Murray.
Ooh.
That is the matchup that I am really interested to see because again, Derek is Derek, second year in the league, Jamal Murray, another young guy. I think a lot's going to be said about what those two guys do against one another. So, boom. Matchup right there. Jamal Murray averaged 18 points a game this year.
I don't like this because that was my matchup to watch. I swear, that is so frustrating.
So you let me go through the whole spiel, and
I don't like how we're agreeing, but no, I completely agree. I mean, Jamal Murray has been, first off, the definition of inconsistent this year. There was a great profile piece on his bringing up and how his dad is very involved, not like LeVar Ball involved, but very involved. Yes, we're almost at 20 minutes.
Crazy, man. Yeah, thank you so much. We went through a whole Isaiah Thomas.
But no, Jamal Murray, if you don't know about him, Kentucky guy, very talented scorer. But again, he's not a true point guard. I'm pretty sure he's Canadian. I think he played on the Canadian. Because I remember the first time I saw him, he played on the Canadian national team. And shout out Summer League ball.
Yeah.
And no, he's a great scorer. He can hit threes. But like you said, Monte Morris is the real point guard in that team.
Oh, now you're saying Monte Morris is the real.
No, I'm giving you credit because I feel like I was a little mean earlier. But Monte Morris is not an all-star and not the third most important person on that team. The matchup, I guess I'll go to my secondary matchup. Obviously, I mean, I've said it before, LaMarcus Jokic. I mean, you're going to have two, ideally, all NBA guys battling in two different sets of games. I mean,
So Jokic, do those guys just cancel each other out, though?
No.
They don't.
No,
they don't.
Because
you expect
they're very different in that Jokic gets everyone else involved and that he can finish a game. If he's not scoring, he can help the game out on other ways. He can he can get 13 assists and finish with 15 points. Whereas LaMarcus, if he doesn't get his 20 points and 12 rebounds, I don't know how helpful he's going to be.
Yeah, and well, with LaMarcus, it's more about recognizing that double teams are coming his way and getting the ball out to swing the ball around. I mean, that's more of what LaMarcus's role is, especially, like you said, when it comes to the passing part of his game. Jokic is definitely more of an assist guy in the sense that he's going to get guys to get their shots.
And it's also
LaMarcus
important
is
to
more
know
of just move the ball around.
Right, and LaMarcus bangs down low. He'll give you the shove, the shimmy, and the backup fade. Or he'll take you right to the hole. Where Jokic, I mean, it works because he's 7 feet, but he's not banging down low as much as LaMarcus. I mean, he'll space you out. He'll work threes. He'll space the floor. So can LaMarcus. LaMarcus can hit a three every once in a while.
Which can also work to the Spurs' advantage a little bit because I think because Denver plays a bigger style and Jokic is such a key point of that, I think you're going to see Pirtle mostly on Jokic a lot. And I think it's going to free LaMarcus to kind of roam more of the baseline.
Paul Millsap.
LaMarcus, Paul Millsap, I don't know if I think that's a matchup that the Spurs are going to be willing to just say, hey, Paul Millsap can do what he needs to do.
LaMarcus
Jokic
is bigger than him.
Yeah, exactly. But that's how I think the Spurs defend the Nuggets. I don't know how the Nuggets come out and defend the Spurs. Whether they want Jokic, their key guy on offense, to be the primary defender on LaMarcus.
You know what?
That's
I
retract
my matchup.
Oh.
Here's the matchup. Malone versus Pop. Oh, man. Because that's what it's going to come down to. I mean, you're going to have Pop, who has all this experience, and then you have Malone, who really doesn't.
Yeah,
I think that Pop's going to know how to work the floor, work the playoff atmosphere, work his guys.
Yeah. The craziest thing about playoffs is just how many adjustments are made from basically after like the first 2-3 games when you get really kind of deep into a series. That's when you see Pop kind of tinker a little bit more with the starting lineups, kind of move around some of the rotational pieces and stuff like that. So that'll be interesting to see. I do agree with you. Pop is Pop. I mean, he's going to know every little in and out part of every single series. But I don't want to discredit Mike Malone. I think he's done a great job. But again, this is a different.
But I think playoff experience has a lot to do with this.
Absolutely.
And I think Pop's smarter than every other coach.
So, we're going pretty late here.
We are going very late, and I'm looking for the line right now. So what is your prediction right now?
I said it yesterday on GMSA at 9 a.m. Spurs in 7. Spurs in 7. Look at the face you make here. Okay, what?
Because that was my prediction.
Oh my God! Here we go.
Dom was Dom, who I guess at this point is our executive producer of this show. I don't know. He's like, you have to be, someone has to take one side, and
I just think, look, man, I mean, yeah, I know we would probably want to be a little bit more argumentative, but you got to be organic,
I'll take the other side. I'll say Nuggets in 6.
Ooh, okay.
I'll say Nuggets in 6. Mm-hmm. And my reasoning will be, I think that Jokic gets everyone involved. Mm-hmm. I think that shooters are going to shoot on the Nuggets. I think that they're going to hit enough threes to keep everyone on their toes. And, yeah, I think Paul Millsap will finally, because he's really been the low-key player. He got a $100 million contract 2 years ago, and he really hasn't earned it yet. So I think he's going to earn it at least in this first round.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
So I said Nuggets in 6.
Nuggets in 6, and I'll go Spurs in 7. Now, that would require them to win a road game. So here we go, Spurs. Come on, man. Win a road game.
So
Jesus.
The line for tomorrow night's game is 5.5 points to the Nuggets. Oh, my goodness. That is so many points.
Well, okay, so usually Vegas gives the home team 3 points right away just to kind of
No, I get that, but still.
So really, I mean, they're looking at this game being like a 2-point game. So that's about right.
Are you taking Spurs?
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
You know what?
You're getting 5.5 points.
You know what? Tomorrow, I don't like them winning game 1. I think Denver's going to be like really amped up to win that game. I just feel like Denver's going to come out. The crowd's going to be hyped up. And I just think that Denver's going to win that game. But I do think the Spurs will get game 2.
I'll take Spurs.
Oh, wow.
Spurs plus 5.5.
All right, here we go.
Go, Spurs, go.
Here we go, man. Yeah, nice.
All right, so how much time do we have left? All right, we have about 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
So let's just run through the rest of it. Okay, NBA, Wade and Dirk. Someone brought up a good point today. They said, Wade's getting all of this publicity, getting all this love, and Dirk, for the most part, I mean, you saw the tears, you saw the ceremonies, especially here in San Antonio. But for the most part, Dirk's kind of flying under the radar with the retirement thing. And that could be because he didn't have the whole retirement tour.
Sure.
He wanted to play it safe. But, yeah, someone brought up to me, like, hey, didn't Dirk have more of an influence on the game than Wade?
Of course. I mean, Dirk basically changed the stretch 4 position. Now, you can make the argument, I mean, he's not the greatest power forward. Let's just say that. I mean, Tim Duncan is in that argument, obviously. But what Dirk did to make this kind of a stretch, big man type game and pave the way for European players, international players, is far more impactful than what Dwayne Wade did. Now, Wade was a great, great player because I think Wade just had that intensity, competitiveness that he's a champion. Obviously, Dwayne Wade is a champion.
3-time champion.
Basically put together the super team in Miami, convinced LeBron and CB Chris Bosh to come over.
Who lost to Dirk, which is great.
They lost to Dirk, and then they also lost to the Spurs, too, in those 4 playoff finals runs or whatever. But, yeah, Dirk, way more impactful. I think Dirk staying with the Mavs for 21 seasons is incredible. I mean, the loyalty that he showed, even when the Mavs kind of tore down after they won their championship, Mark Cuban sort of tore down the whole thing, promised that they would bring free agents. That never happened. I mean,
they got Harrison Barnes.
They got Harrison Barnes. They got, just guys that they just had to fill up the roster.
Yeah.
But Dirk stuck with it. And, I kind of got chills a little bit being in the arena when they played the tribute video for Dirk and he started to get emotional and stuff because, he was really an all-time great. And I worked in Dallas for a few years, so I got to see him part of his career there. So I really feel, I don't know, man. Dirk's just a dude that was a good guy by all accounts. By all accounts, just a good guy and really and one of the best forwards of all time for sure.
So the way I said it was, yes, I mean internationally, Dirk did so much for the game. The stretch 4, that's a great point. I said that D Wade knew, first off, he wasn't even gonna, at one point he was gonna retire in the summer.
Right.
He wasn't gonna do it last season. So I'm glad he did it because he's probably been the most valuable person on the Heat this year.
Yeah.
And even though they're not making the playoffs. So he gets to retire a little early.
Wait, Dion Waiters not getting your vote there?
Dion Waiters Island right now? Yeah. I'm glad that D Wade came back because he still had highlights. I mean, he beat the Sixers a couple times. He's won games single-handedly. But here's the thing. I think he did the Kobe tour. And for those who don't know, if we take it back a couple of years, because this was the best scheme in NBA history.
To do the
Kobe tour.
Tours? Yeah.
The farewell tour for Kobe was a lot different because the Lakers had no chance to make the playoffs that year.
Yeah.
They actually just used this farewell tour as an excuse to tank.
Sure. Yes. Yeah.
And they did. I mean, they tanked. They got Brandon Ingram. They got number 2 overall pick.
Right.
And it was an excuse because you know what? Oh, we're just out here getting Kobe. We'll let him take 30 shots a night and we'll make 10 of them.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that D-Wade didn't take it that way. The Heat were competitive for the majority of the season. And it was cool to see him, like, give away jerseys, see who, like, kind of reciprocated. Also, did you see the Bud Light commercial?
I saw the Bud Light commercial.
I actually started tearing up.
I mean, that was great.
It was very powerful.
When I first saw the thing that said this Bud is for number 3, I was like, wait a minute, this is a beer commercial. So
yeah, all right, thanks for killing it.
Yeah.
Great
commercial.
Your camera started.
Oh.
It's all right. We're just going to finish on a 2-shot. Okay, so anyway, if you haven't seen it yet,
we're doing it live.
It highlights D-Wade actually giving back to the community, and you see all these influential people, actually people that he influenced, some of the money that he's given back. I think there was a kid who wouldn't have otherwise graduated.
Yeah,
and
they were kind of exchanging things with him, kind of the jersey,
and it was a very powerful moment. But no, I think that the reason that his farewell tour was so blown up was because of the use of social media. It was a farewell tour where we didn't really even know if Dirk was going to retire until the second to last game of the season.
Right.
So it was very interesting. All right, before we go, because we already did our breakfast bet.
We did.
Breakfast bet.
Game
go
1.
Spurs, go. Let's go.
Yeah, I actually had the Nuggets in game 1. Sorry.
Whatever.
We'll see. Hey, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
I hope
will maybe one day.
Well, don't worry. We have about 8,000 breakfast tacos out there. I think we're tied in breakfast tacos right now.
I think we are too.
But I do owe Katie Blake breakfast tacos. I had so many things written down for this rundown, but we are not going to get to any of that. So what we're going to get to is MVP right now. Go.
MVP right now, man. If Harden makes that shot against Oklahoma City to get them to the number 2 seed, I think James Harden's your MVP. I'll go back to Giannis. I think it's going to be Giannis.
You're a flip-flopper.
I am a little bit of a flip-flopper. I feel like I have the right to flip-flop.
I'm going Harden. And here's my argument.
He was incredible. He was incredible all year, but I just don't think that
best scoring season since Kobe's 2006 season.
Okay.
35 points a game is no joke. My main argument, and don't get me wrong, all the respect in the world to Giannis. I mean, there's no wrong answer here.
Yeah.
Because I've personally seen, the most of the games I watch are Saturday and Sunday afternoons.
Yeah.
Or days off. Again, wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning. But I've seen Giannis single-handedly pull his team to beat the Sixers. And you can't guard him on the outside. You can't guard him inside. You can't do anything. You got to hope that he just settles for a mid-range.
Right.
And even that, it's okay, he's still 7 feet and he can just plop in. But here's the thing: if you take Giannis off that team, off the Bucks, what happens?
Well, I think we've had this discussion before. I don't think the Bucks are a top 4 or 5 team.
Okay.
In the Eastern Conference, if you take
But do you still think they make the playoffs?
Yeah, because the East is the East.
I think the Bucks are still better than the Pacers. I think the Bucks are still a 4 seed.
Without Giannis?
Yeah.
I
absolutely
I don't know about that. I think they're better than Brooklyn.
Okay, so you have Eric Bledsoe.
Sure.
You have Chris Middleton.
Uh-huh.
You have all of these. What was that?
Chris Middleton. I mean, okay.
Chris Middleton's stats.
No, he was an all-star this year. 18.
He was an all-star.
Yeah, he was an all-star this year.
He's probably going to get a max deal this summer.
I think he's more of a volume guy than
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's a volume. Look at that. 20 points a game.
Okay, Chris Middleton. I mean, look, I don't go into any sort of game against the Bucks fearing Chris Middleton. The only reason why Chris Middleton...
Giannis is going to shoot the ball and have the ball in his hands.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The only reason that Chris Middleton is racking up these types of numbers is because Giannis is getting all the attention on the defensive end.
No.
Bledsoe's a guy who I actually think is a better player than Middleton, but sure, whatever,
If you could have either Middleton or... we're not going to get into this about the Bucks. But here's my point. If you take Giannis off the Bucks, they're still a 4-5 seed. Can we both agree that they're better than the Nets?
Sure.
Okay, so they're a 5 seed.
That's a weird sound.
They're a 5 seed.
I really like D'Angelo Russell, man.
I love D'Angelo Russell. I liked him at Ohio State, and that's tough to say as a Penn State fan.
Yeah.
So, also, scathing remark by Magic Johnson the other day after his atrocious leaving of a franchise.
That
was
in
like,
itself
oh,
was
we didn't like
terrible.
we didn't like D'Angelo. I've probably been blowing up the sound here. But like we liked his talent, but he was immature. He was 19 years old.
What do you expect?
Can you imagine what you were doing at 19 years old? If you're
I was being pretty immature.
Stupid.
Even I wasn't even a millionaire,
Magic.
and I was still immature. Yeah.
So anyway, back to my original point. You take Giannis off the Bucks, they're still a 4-5 seed. If you take Harden off the Rockets, they're in the lottery. 100% they're in the lottery.
Yeah, I mean, look, they depend on him a lot more than I guess Milwaukee
games he's missed,
would.
They were atrocious.
I just think that what we saw out of Giannis this year was really kind of the start of what's going to be an unstoppable 3-4 years out of him. He's in his prime right now, and
so
I mean, he's already putting up some insane.
The scary part
numbers.
about Giannis is he's not in his prime yet. I think he's going to hit his prime in 2
He's
years.
24.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think we're going to hit
like 26.
I think we're going to see 4 or 5 years of Giannis just being a dominant force in the NBA right now, and I think this was kind of the coming out party. And he's going to get the MVP. The Bucks had the best record in the league. The Bucks had the best record in the league.
I don't want to take anything away from the Bucks because good for the Bucks. Like, it's been a while coming. But
the Bucks,
statistically, they have had the easiest schedule in like the last 30 years.
Oh God!
I'm just saying.
Okay, I mean,
I'm just saying. Also, important to note that they have the best record in the league. Do you think they're going to win the finals?
Ooh, that's a good one. So you got me on that one because I think that. Well, even though the Raptors just had an injury here, OG Anunoby or whatever had an emergency appendectomy.
Breaking news on the pod.
Here's the deal. You're right. I think when
I keep looking at this camera, even though it says it's not recording me.
Maybe we'll just get your profile or whatever. So I think that I would still take Toronto to beat Milwaukee in an Eastern Conference Finals. So I'm just saying that this is a regular season award. This is a regular season award. Giannis literally like the start to finish, I think Giannis has been the best player, the MVP, most valuable player. Harden is right there, but
I think it's been Harden 100%. I think you are jumping into the storyline of who Giannis is and his progression. I think Harden has been acknowledged. It's the MJ effect. MJ should have gotten the MVP like 6 years, 10 years in a row.
Yeah.
And I think that people are it's voter fatigue. Like, hey, Harden already got one. On to the new one. Same thing with social media and like NBA writers.
Okay.
He already got. That's why everyone forgets how good Steph Curry is. He's still one of the best.
Steph is totally Steph is just completely.
We are way over 36 minutes. I'm sorry.
Overlooked. Steph.
We only talked 2 topics. We had a whole list. We
went on about Fiesta Tacos. We went on about Fiesta Tacos. We went on about Isaiah Thomas for some weird reason.
You're still listening or still watching?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Also,
finally got to Spurs, and now, MVP.
So, anything else you want to plug?
No, I think we're good. At KSAT RJ. Just follow us on online and on social media. Larry is out there with Mark in Denver, so I know they're going to have some good stuff there. Be posting on social media, and we'll see what happens.
Dom wanted me to mention the Valero Texas.
Oh my Lord! I was on vacation for the past week. I do not even know the name of the guy.
Oh, it was crazy.
Who won
Corey
the Valero.
Connors had an insane comeback win.
There you go.
Amazing.
I'm giving you the floor.
And I watched a little bit of the Masters yesterday. I love golf.
That's
it's
cool.
Perfect.
The Masters is neat.
It's perfect nap. Oh, just golf in general. It's great napping sport.
Yeah.
Because you take a nap. It's not too exciting.
Yeah.
You wake up. You're like, oh, this is great.
We should have done like a Masters challenge. That would have been cool. Like pick our top 3 golfers.
It's not over.
Okay, sure.
You just can't have Brooks Koepka.
Okay.
Who was like a monster. I saw a great meme today.
Dude's like a linebacker.
It was Brooks Koepka who was wearing like a super tight Nike, and it was like this guy, and then I think it was DeChambeau, who's actually went to SMU.
Interesting.
I think he was like smoking a cigarette or something ridiculous, and like it just didn't look good. And it was like these 2 guys are the leaders in an athletic event.
Right.
Anyway, so
is Dom hearing us, by the way?
There you go, Dom.
Is he listening to us? Because that camera is like
it's only recording
really
here,
kind of
but he can
weirding
hear
us out.
or he can see us. I don't know what's going on with my audio right now. Check. I like really lowered it. Okay,
man.
He'll adjust that in post.
Man.
Also, I really hope that he can edit out a lot of the really candid stuff about Phil and Bernice. But if you didn't, appreciate you guys. Anyway, you plugged your stuff.
KSAT RJ, man. Run it back on Instagram.
Any big stories you're dropping in the next couple days?
So I was kind of working on this DeMar column. So when I was talking about just the chip on his shoulder, if I could get that done, that'd be that's my goal right now, to do that, finish that.
Don't plug it if you don't push it out.
You know what? Now I feel the pressure to definitely do it. Yes, I think the whole DeMar angle of this, I think, is going to be really interesting. 100%. He's going to be kind of the key to this whole series. So, yeah.
All right. Let's see. What do I have to plug? Ideally, I've been in talks with the Spurs PR person, so expect a GMSA preview Monday morning.
Nice.
Me at the court trying to get buckets, but probably shooting 0 for 20 from 3.
Yeah.
That's usually like my rec league thing. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. If you're still listening or watching, you're a real fan.
Man. I really
make sure to follow us at KSAT Run It Back. Right?
At KSAT Run It Back. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, at KSAT Run It Back. And yeah, if you ever have questions, comments, concerns, if you want to, have a cool idea, tweet at us, post on our Instagram. But that's it for now. And thank you so much. We'll do the pen drop because it's now customary. Boom.